Welcome. It's your boy Frog. Day 12 of the hard challenge. Not gonna lie, waking up was tough today. I woke up at like 6 in the morning, but I was in bed for like 5 minutes because for me like I have like multiple alarms set. So by the time it was like 6:05, I was like, I gotta get up. So got up, crunched out the workout, chest and shoulders today. If you don't want to skip to that and skip over the whole introduction and reading section, because that's gonna take like 25 minutes. I'm not gonna lie. You can skip over here, but onto the breakfast. Yes, I remember to take pictures, but also I took the process steps. Before that though, I had some creatine. Not too bad. I need to stir it more because like I'd be stirring it for a good like 15 seconds, and I drink that bit, and at the bottom there's always like some like puddle of creatine that's like just not mixing well, and I just like drink like pure sand, and I'm like just like it's like all over my teeth. Anyways, so I had some creatine, and for breakfast, boom, these are all the ingredients. We got 2 scoops of oatmeal, some milk, 1 scoop of protein powder. I scraped what's left of the peanut butter, some chia seeds, 2 avocados, and some water. Yes, I did get a new water bottle. Back then in the older videos, I got this. However, this bottle is just a liter, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. However, your boy got a new water bottle. Shout out to Water Ski, I'm not sponsored, but I'm gonna reach out to me. But this is insulated, so it's gonna stay cold, and it's half a gallon. So literally, if I need to drink a gallon, I can just drink 2 of these. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm probably gonna drink like a gallon and like maybe a half because I'm on creatine now, so I'll use that. Anyways, let's get on to the reading session for today. But before we get into that, we always gotta do. Oh shit! We always gonna do question of the day for all my new viewers or viewers that forgot. I don't know which day it was, but we finished this book. However, they have a lot of questions in the back, and every video I go through a question, so let's get into that. Yesterday it was what do you wait one second here, it was what is your definition of success? Okay, next question of today, what type of friend do you want to be? I'm not even going to lie, this is like the most easiest question ever. I want to be a friend where not only can I be able to show up, because obviously friends go through life, you know what I'm saying. I want to be that kind of pillar where anytime my friends need help, they can just come to me, you know what I'm saying. Whether it be like financial help, physical help, or mental help, they can just come to it. I want to be that kind of strong pillar where I can help them out, because my friends have been with me through everything I've been through, all the ups and downs, and like I want to be able to support them for life. So that's one aspect. Another aspect is what was the question again? Like, wait, I like blanked out. Hold on, wait. Hold up. Awkward. Oh, yo, can I get to the page? What's going on? Okay. So what type of friend do you want to be? So there's that. I want to be a friend that is easy to approach. Like even now or in the future, like when I get bigger as like a streamer and as like a content creator, because your boy is manifesting that shit. Okay, it's gonna happen soon, or not soon, but in time. But I want to be very approachable with like towards my friends. Like I don't ever want them to be like, oh, Prague is like doing too much, or like Prague is like he's too famous. Like no, like I want to be very approachable. I want to be able to just help out my friends. I want to be trustworthy. I want to be someone that they can just talk to, and like, because my friends are my day ones. Okay, like I'm not gonna swap sides. I'm not gonna cut them off because they've been with me through everything. So I just want to be someone. I want to be a type of friend that they see me as like almost like a brother, like an actual brother, because like that's how close we are. But hey, that's the question and answer for today. Comment down below your answer. And let's get on to the reading of the Zen Mind. Yesterday we finished off talking about a story in regards to the frog, but let's move on to that. Because if you don't know, Koan, Koan, is another meaning for a story. So yesterday we were talking about Bazo. He wanted to become Buddha by practicing Zazen, but then Nagaku replied, do you want to attain Buddhahood? There is no Buddhahood besides your ordinary mind. When a cart does not go, which do you whip, the cart or the horse? The master asked. Nagaku's meaning here is that whatever you do, that is Zazen. True Zazen is beyond being in the bed or sitting in the Zendo. So, anyways, he has another story here for Dojin Zenzu, which we will start off on page 68. Dojin Zenzu commented on this koan. He said, when the horse master becomes the horse master, Zen becomes Zen. When Bazo becomes Bazo, his Zazen becomes true Zazen, and Zen becomes Zen. What is true Zen? What when you become you? Oh wait, I read that. Another one. Here is another famous koan, as in here is another famous story. Zuikan, it's Zuikan. Okay, Zuikan, what I'm sure I say Zukan. Zukan was a Zen master who always used to address himself as Zukan with a question mark. He would call and then he would never answer. Yes, Zukan, yes. Of course he was living all alone in a small zendo, and of course he knew who he was, but sometimes he lost himself. And whenever he lost himself, he would always address himself, Zukan, yes. If we are all like frog, we are always ourselves, but even a frog sometimes loses himself and he makes a sour face. And if something comes along, he will snap at it and eat it. So I think a frog is always addressing himself. I think you should do that also. Even in Zazen, if you lose yourself, when you become sleepy or when your mind starts to wander about, you lose yourself. When your legs become painful, why are my legs so painful? You lose yourself. Because you lose yourself, your problem will be a problem for you. If you do not lose yourself, then even though you have difficulty, there is no actual problem whatsoever. You just sit in the midst of the problem. When you are a part of the problem, or when the problem is a part of you, there is no problem, because you are the problem itself. The problem is you yourself. If this is so, there is no problem. When your life is always a part of your surroundings, in other words, when you call back to yourself in the present moment, then there is no problem. When you start to wonder about in some delusion which is something apart from yourself, then your surroundings are not real anymore, and your mind is not real anymore. If you yourself are deluded, then your surroundings are also misty, foggy delusion. Once you are in the midst of delusion, there is no end to delusion. You will be involved in delusion ideas one after the other. Most people live in delusion, involved in their problem, trying to solve their problem, but just to live is actually to live in problems. And to solve the problems is to be a part of it, to be one with it. So which do you hit, the cart or the horse? Which do you hit, yourself or your problems? If you start questioning which you should hit, that means you already decided to wander about. But when you actually hit the horse, the cart will go. In truth, the cart and the horse are not different. When you are you, there is no problem or whether you should hit the cart or the horse. If you guys don't know, just for reference, like the cart is back then, like, you know what I'm saying, like the horse is carrying the cart, and when they're talking about hit the cart or the horse, it means that if the cart isn't moving, do you hit the cart or do you hit the horse? But yeah, when you are you, Zazen becomes true Zazen. When you practice Zazen, your problem will practice Zazen, and everything else will practice Zazen too. Even though your spouse is in bed, he or she is also practicing Zazen when you practice Zazen. But when you do not practice true Zazen, then there is your spouse and there is yourself, each quite different, quite separate from each other. So if you yourself have true practice, then everything is practicing on our way at the same time. That is why you should always address ourselves, checking up on ourselves like a doctor, tapping himself. This is very important. This kind of practice should be continued moment after moment. Insincerely, I don't know if that's even a word. We say, when the night is here, the dawn comes. It means there is no gap between dawn and night. Before the summer is over, autumn comes. In this way, we should understand our life. We should practice with this understanding and solve our problems in this way. Actually, just to work on the problem, if you do it with a single-minded effort, is enough. You should you should just pause the title. That is our practice. The purpose of practice is not to make a tile a jewel. Just continue sitting. This is the practice in its true sense. It is not a matter of whether or not it is possible to attain Buddhahood, whether or not it is possible to make a tile a jewel. Just to work and live in this world with this understanding is the most important part. That is our practice. That is true Zazen. So when we say when you eat, you should eat what is there. When it is there, sometimes you do not eat it, even though you are eating. Your mind is somewhere else. You do not taste what you have in your mouth, and as long as you eat when you're eating, you're all right. Do not worry a bit if it means you are you yourself. When you are you see things as they are, and they become one with the surroundings. There is your true self. There you have true practice. You have the practice of a frog. Frog. Sorry, guys. There you have true practice. You have practice of a frog. He is a good example of a practice. When a frog becomes a frog, Zen becomes Zen. When you understand a frog through and through, you attain enlightenment. You are Buddha, and you are good for others too, husband or wife or son. This is Zazen. I want to touch base primarily on the fact when, like, at the ending here, when they said, when you eat, sometimes you do not eat, even though you're eating, your mind is somewhere else. Yo, that is high-key me, because, like, how I structure it is that, like, I'll be eating, but I'm thinking about, like, what I'm gonna be doing next. Like, I'm not focusing on the, like for example, today, like, I'm working out, and, like, in between my, like, reps or, like, in my sets, where I'm thinking, okay, I gotta work out, and then I gotta go eat breakfast, I gotta come back, I gotta film a video, I gotta blah blah blah, and, like, I think it kind of just tells you to be, like, more, like, in the now. Just, like, your mind will be clear when you're just focusing currently on the now. Like right now, I'm talking to a camera, but in the back of my head, I'm thinking about another topic. You know what I'm saying? But okay, Constancy, bro, CONSTANNCY. Okay, whatever. The message for us today is cultivate your own spirit. It means not to go seeking for something outside of yourself. This is very important point, and it is the only way to practice Zen. Of course, studying scriptures or recruiting or reciting the sutra or sitting in Zen, each of these activities should be Zen. But if your effort or practice does not have the right orientation, it will not work at all. Not only will it not work, but it may spoil your pure nature. Then, the more you know about Zen, the more you will become spoiled. Your mind will be filled with rubbish. Your mind will be stained. It is quite usual for us to gather pieces of information from various sources, thinking in this way to increase our knowledge. Actually, following this way, we end up not knowing anything at all. Our understanding of Buddhism should not be gathered by pieces of information seeking to gain knowledge. Instead of gathering knowledge, you should clear your mind. If your mind is clear, true knowledge is already yours. When you listen to our teacher with a pure, clear mind, you can accept it as if you were hearing something which you already knew. This is called emptiness, or omnipotent self, or knowing everything. When you know everything, you are like a dark sky. Sometimes a flashing will come through a dark sky. After it passes, you forget all about it, and there's nothing left but the dark sky. The sky is never surprised when all of a sudden a thunderbolt breaks through, and when the lightning does a flash, a wonderful sight may be seen. When we have emptiness, we are always prepared for watching the flash. Barry Allen. Sorry. In China, Rosen is a famous... In China, Rosen, I'm guessing that's a place, is famous for the misty scenery. Yeah, it is. Okay. I have not been to China yet, but there must be beautiful mountains there. And to see the white clouds or mist come and go through the mountains must be a very wonderful sight. Although it is wonderful, a Chinese poem says, Rosen is famous for its misty rainy days and the great river Seco for its tides. Coming and going, that is all. That is all, but it is splendid. This is how we appreciate things. You should accept knowledge as if you were hearing something you already knew, but this does not mean to receive various pieces of information merely as an echo of your own opinions. It means that you should not be surprised at whatever you see or hear. If you receive things just as an echo yourself, you do not really see them. You do not fully accept them as they are. So when we say Roseanne is famous for misty and rainy days. It does not mean to appreciate the sight by reclicking some scenery we have already seen before. It is not so wonderful. I've seen that sight before. Or I have painted much more beautiful paintings. Roseanne is nothing. This is not our way. If you are ready to accept things as they are, you will receive them as old friends, even though you appreciate them with new feelings. And we should not hoard knowledge. We should be free from our knowledge. If you collect various pieces of knowledge as collection, it may be very good, but this is not our way. We should not try to surprise people by our wonderful treasures. We should not be interested in something special. If you want to appreciate something fully, you should forget yourself. You should accept it like the lightning flash in the utter darkness of the sky. Sometimes we think it's impossible for us to understand something unfamiliar, but actually there is nothing that is unfamiliar to us. Some people may say it is almost impossible to understand Buddhism because our culture background is so different. How can we understand oriental thought? Of course, Buddhism cannot be separated from its cultural background. This is true. But if a Japanese Buddhist comes to the United States, he is no longer in Japan. He's no longer a Japanese. I am living in your cultural background. I am eating nearly the same food as you eat, and I'm communicating with you in your language. Even though you do not understand me completely, I want to understand you, and I may understand you better than anyone who can speak and understand English. This is true. If I could not understand English at all, I think I would communicate with people. There is always a possibility of understanding as long as we exist in the utter dark sky, as long as we live in emptiness. I've always said that you must be very patient if you want to understand Buddhism, but I have been seeking for a better word than patience. This is usually translation of the Japanese word nin, is patience, but perhaps constancy is a better word. You must force yourself to be patient. In constancy, bro, am I even saying this word right? C-O-N-S-T-A-N-C, what? Constancy? There is no particular effort involved. There is only the unchanging ability to accept things as they are. For people who have no idea of emptiness, this ability may appear to be patience, but for patience can actually be non-acceptance. People who know, even if they are intuitively the state of emptiness, always have opened the possibility of accepting things as they are. They can appreciate everything in everything they do, but even though it may be difficult, they will always be able to dissolve their problems by constancy. Nin is the way we cultivate our own spirit. Nin as in, it means translation for practice. So they're saying patience is the way we cultivate our own spirit. Okay. Nin is our way of continuous practice. We should always live in the dark, empty sky. The sky is always the sky. Even though clouds and lightning come, the sky is not disturbed. Even if the flashing of enlightenment comes, our practice forgets all about it. Then it is ready for another enlightenment. It is necessary for us to enlightenments one after another. If possible, moment after moment, this is what you call enlightenment, before you attain it and after you attain it. So from that whole chapter, I kind of picked up the fact that like when it comes to learning, you should be very accepting, like a dark sky. Whereas like when things come in, like as in like they're teaching you something or they're like telling you something, they as in like someone like a teacher, blah blah blah, you just accept it, and that's it. Accept it, and even though it may be even wrong, accept it and let it go. Because you try and be like a sky, right? Where a sky is like, as I mentioned earlier, dark sky or even a blue sky, right? The sky never falters. It's always gonna revert back to its form even after rain, thunder, snow, all that kind of stuff. So okay, next chapter, communication. Damn, I need to work on that. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, anyways. Communication is very important in Zen practice because I cannot speak your language very well. I'm also seeking some way of communicating with you. I think that this kind of effort will result in something very good. We see that if you do not understand your master's words, you are not his disciple. To understand your master's word or your master's language is to understand your master himself.
And when you understand him, you find his language is not just ordinary language, but language is a wider sense. Through your master's language, you understand more than what his words actually say. When we say something, our subjective intention or situation is always involved. So there is no perfect word. Some distortion is always present in a statement, but nevertheless. Through our master statement, we have to understand objective fact itself, the ultimate fact. By ultimate fact, we do not mean something internal or something constant. We mean things that are wait, wait. By ultimate fact, we do not mean internal or something constant. We mean things as they are in each moment. You may call it being or reality. Okay? To understand reality as a direct experience is the reason we practice Zazen and the reason we study Buddhism. Through the study of Buddhism, you will understand your human nature, your intellectual faculty, and the truth present in each human activity. And you can take this human nature of yours into consideration when you seek to understand reality, but only the actual practice of Zen can you experience reality directly and understand it in their true sense, the very statements made by your teacher or Buddha. In a strict sense, it is not possible to speak about reality. Nevertheless, if you are a Zen student, you have to understand it directly through your master's words. Your master's direct statement may not be only in words. His behavior is likewise his way of expressing himself. In Zen, we emphasize on demeanor or behavior. But behavior, we do not mean a particular way that you ought to behave. Hold up. I'm turning the page. All right. But rather the expression of yourself. We emphasize straightforwardness. You should be true to your feelings and to your mind, expressing yourself without any reservations. This helps the listener to understand more easily. When you listen to someone, you should give up all your preconceived ideas and your subjective opinions. You should just listen to him. Just observe what he says. We put very little emphasis on the right and wrong or good and bad. We just see things as they are with him and accept them. This is how we communicate with each other. Usually when you listen to some statement, you hear it as a kind of echo of yourself. You are actually listening to your own opinion. If it agrees with your opinion, you may accept it. But if it does not, you'll reject it or may not even hear it. That is one danger when you listen to someone. The other danger is to be caught by the statement. If you don't understand your master statement in its true sense, you will easily be caught by something which is involved in your subjective opinion, or by particularly way the statement is expressed. You will take what he says only as a statement without understanding the spirit behind the words. This kind of danger is always there. It is difficult to have good communications between parents and children because parents always have their own intentions. Their intentions are nearly always good, but the way they speak or the way they express themselves is often not so free. It is usually one-sided and not realistic. We each have our own way of expressing ourselves, and it is difficult to change that according to the circumstances. If parents can manage to express themselves in various ways according to each situation, there will be no danger in the education of their children. This, however, is rather difficult. When a Zen master has his own way, when Nishihara Zenji scolded his disciples, he always says, "Go away." One of his students took him literally and left the temple. But the master did not mean to expel the student. It was just his way of expressing himself. Instead of saying, "Be careful," he said, "Go away." If your parents have this kind of habit, you will easily misunderstand them. This danger is also present in everyday life. So as a listener or a disciple, it is necessary to clear your mind of various distortions. A mind full of preconceived ideas, subjective intentions, or habits is not open to things as they are. That is why we practice Zazen, to clear out our mind of what is related to something else. To be quite natural to ourselves and always to follow what others say or do in the most appropriate way is quite difficult. If we try to adjust ourselves intentionally in some way, it is impossible to be natural. If you try to adjust yourself in a certain way, you will lose yourself. So without any intentional fancy way of adjusting yourself, To express yourself freely as you are is the most wait freely as you are is the most important thing to make yourself happy and to make others happy. You will acquire this kind of ability by practicing Zazen. Zen is not some fancy special art of living. Our teaching is just to live, always in reality in the exact sense. Yeah. Like reading that, I'm getting like when they're saying live in the moment, they're saying when you're listening to someone, clear out your mind and just listen to like. I feel like a lot of this is pointing towards the fact that like you have to be like if you want to have true peace, you have to be living in the exact moment, and not have like and your mind is just focused on the exact moment. But anyways, back to reading. To make our effort moment after moment is our way. In exact sense, the only thing we can actually study in our life is that on which we are working to in each moment. We cannot even study Buddha's words. To study Buddha's words in their exact sense means to study them throughout some activity which you face moment after moment. So you should be concentrating with our full body and mind on what we do. And we should be faithful subjectively and objectively to ourselves, and especially to our feelings. Even when you do not feel so well, it is better to express how you feel without any particular attachments or intentions. So you may say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I don't feel well." That is enough. You should not say, you made me so." Oh, damn, that's okay. That's kind of like hurtful. Damn, that is too much. You may say, "Oh, I am sorry. I am so angry with you." There is no need to say that you are not angry when you are angry. You should just say, "I am angry." That is enough. True communication depends on being straightforward with one another. Zen masters are very straightforward. If you don't understand the reality directly through your master's words, he may use his staff on you. What is it he may say? Our very way is very direct, but this is not actually Zen, you know. It is not our traditional way, but when we want to express it, we find it easier sometimes to express it in this way, being straightforward. But the best way to communicate may be to just sit down without saying anything. Then, when you have full meaning of Zen, if I use my staff on you until I lose myself or until you die, still, it will not be enough. This is the best way is just to sit. Okay, so with that, that's the end of the chapter. Not gonna lie though, I gotta take a shit. Hold up. Alright guys, I'm back from taking my big dump. I'm back. Hey. But that's the portion of reading today. Thank you guys for watching the reading section. Let's go on to the workout now. Hope you guys enjoy the video. Peace. Okay, time for chest and shoulders. We're starting out with 50 bumbleclop pounds on the... Sorry. Anyways, we're doing some dumbbell presses. You know what I'm saying? Dude, I know I keep saying it, but I really need to invest in some dumbbell weights. Because, like, the thing is, if I go to the gym, I don't know if I can, like, record there, so you know what I'm saying. But anyways, boom, dumbbell presses, some light for me. Then moving on to dumbbell incline presses. I think this is 35 or 40. Struggling, we pushing it through. To all my new viewers, just to guys let you know that I do 2 sets close to failure, but I don't record the second set because this video is long enough. But hey, not too bad. Then we're going to dumbbell lateral raises. I think this weight was like 17.5. Always starting off with my left arm because my left arm is smaller than my right, so I'm making sure I'm trying to balance it out. But hey, I'm just struggling, not too shabby. On the right side, I don't know why, but bro, my right side is, I mean, I guess it is my dominant side, but still, like, it's so easy to, like, I don't know, use, I guess. Anyways, and then we ended off with some dumbbell presses, not too shabby dabby. This is, I think this is 35 pounds or 30, so not too bad. And yeah, tomorrow will be back day, so stay tuned for that. And that was a workout for today. Thank you guys for watching that part. Boom! Hold up, your boy's looking a little too clean. How do you guys feel if I started to make songs on FL Studio? Anyways, this is me post-workout, feeling pretty good. And let's move on to the lunch for today. Okay, for lunch, you know, your boy just ate. We got some chili beef. We got some noodles, and we got a lot of leaves. Overall, pretty good. I had some water as well. I'm not gonna lie, I finished one already. Like I drank 2 of them already, so I already drank a gallon of water already today, and I'm about like one. Like I drank about like 1/4 of this one, so I'm like going above a gallon. But you know what I'm saying, I'm like I'm saying, creatine in that. But anyways, lunch was pretty good today, and let's head over to the dinner. Okay, and for dinner we got a bowl of rice, some pork, some zucchini, and some beans. A lot of protein, and small meal because I'm trying to lose weight. I'm saying, or lose fat. I mean, while retaining the muscle. All right, and for the and for the outdoor activity, we went for a walk. And okay, look, it says like 40, bro. Starva, bro, it tracks you when you're moving. So I have to keep that in mind. 'Cause I'm not gonna lie, I was taking some pictures, trying to take a picture for a thumbnail, because when I think of thumbnails, I'm trying to make like a nature photo. So as I'm walking around in certain areas, I'm trying to take some scenic photos. But obviously, I did walk the 4 or 5 minutes. Let's be for real. But that was the outdoor activity for today. Hey, thank you guys for watching the video. It's been your boy Parag. That is day 12 complete. Tomorrow, day 13. It's gonna be back day, and I'm excited. Honestly feeling good. We're on the cusp of 2 weeks. This Monday, July 21st, will be the 14th day. 2 weeks being consistent. Honestly feeling good because usually I stop being consistent in like a week or so, but I'm feeling really proud of myself, and I'm sticking to the plan. But anyways, thank you guys for watching the videos. It's been your favorite content creator, Parag, and hey, peep all the socials, follow there, follow back. I love you. Thank you guys for watching the video. Peace.